welcome. My name is Sydney, and I am beyond excited to talk about the 9 books that I read in June. June overall was a really successful reading month for me. I usually read a high amount of books, but for me, 9 was like a really good number. Um, some of them were great, some of them were questionable. So without further ado, grab your sweet treat, grab a drink, and let's jump into it. So, my stats for the month of June were 9 books in total. 4 of them were in the romance genre. I was actually feeling pretty nostalgic in this, and I read 4 like early YA, young adult, and then one of them was fantasy. And I actually, in this month, found one of my top favorite reads of the year, so stay tuned to see what that one is. So the first book that I read in the month of June was Flawless by Elsie Silver. I love this book. I can't believe I haven't picked up the Chestnut Springs series yet. Like, this was my introduction. And it's been out for so long. This is so many people's favorites. Like, everybody loves Elsie Silver. It was just such a fun setting and fun characters, and the found family in it was great. So this is a small town enemies to lovers romance between our 2 main characters, Rhett Eaton and Summer Hamilton. So Rhett is a professional bull rider, and he kind of gets himself into a scandal at the beginning of the book, and it really puts his sponsorships on the line, which affect not only his money but his agents. And so his agent is so mad, he needs him to clean up his act. So that's exactly what he tries to do. He sends his daughter, who is our female main character, Summer Hamilton, to go live with him in Chestnut Springs on his family's ranch to go clean up his act, like get his kind of sponsorship, his image back in place. At first, Rhett is not happy. He feels like he doesn't need a babysitter. He's in his 30s. Like, this is ridiculous. And Summer is just trying to just get it over with. Like, this is her job. She's trying to help him, and she's just trying to reason with him, and he's being an adult baby. But throughout the book, you really get to know Rhett and Summer, and I love their chemistry. The tension was really good. There's some spicy scenes in this book, so if that's not really your taste, there wasn't a ton, but like, there was spice. I really love their backstories too. Like, Elsie Silver did a really good job at the pacing with this book. Like, she didn't just shove their backstory at you like all at once, which sometimes in books that happens, and it's like, oh, okay, wait, this is too much. But she really did a good job. She like slowly fed it to you, and it made sense. And just, there wasn't a time I felt bored. It was just a really good book. There's only one issue that I had with the book, and it wasn't like tanking the rating, but it just kind of gave me the ick a couple times. It's dual POV, so sometimes we're in Rhett Eaton's head, and some of the times he like way over sexualized Summer, and instead of talking about how like good of a person she is or just her personality and how she looks beautiful, it was just kind of taken to another level. And I think that was appropriate with the spicy scenes, but it was just when it was all the time, that was like his only thoughts, it felt like, towards her. It was like, okay, calm down just a little bit, my man, just a little bit. But it honestly, it was still such a great book. Like, again, I said that didn't really tank the rating for me. It just gave me a little bit of the ick sometimes. So overall, Flawless by Elsie Silver, I give it 4 stars. I really like it. I highly recommend it. I know I just kind of crapped on it a little bit at the end, but that's just a really small thing that was occurring through the book. Great tension, great chemistry. The writing was amazing. It was just a really fun experience to be in a book where the setting was like a rodeo. That was such a fun place to be, especially with his job being a bull rider. Like, I don't know. 4 stars. That was good. So the next 4 books I read, I was feeling very nostalgic, and I picked up the Warrior Cats. I loved these series as a kid, and I was, like I said, in a very nostalgic mood. And this is the prequel series, so I haven't read that yet, so I was in the mood for something new, but honestly really easy. I was kind of brain dead since I finished my classes for summer. I just wanted to breeze through something quickly, and it I don't know, these are just so good. I read The Sun Trail, I read Thunder Rising, which is the second one. I read The First Battle, which is the third, and then The Blazing Star, the fourth. There's two more in this series, and I just kind of wasn't in the mood anymore. I needed to take a break. It scratched that itch that it needed. The very first book, if you are interested, is about a cat named Rusty. He was kind of feeling like he was a pet. He was somebody's pet, and he kept looking out in the forest and feeling like he was not happy. He wanted to be out in the wild, and then he met some cats that were part of a clan, and he ended up joining them. And it's just the tale that takes place after that is just, oh my gosh, it was sad. It was joyful. Like, such creative, like, you get so attached to the characters. The adventure that was so fun in this, like, there's 4 clans, River Clan, Thunder Clan, Shadow Clan, and Wind Clan, and it kind of felt like it was giving Harry Potter and the separation of them. They all live against each other's borders, and I don't know, it was just so creative, and it scratched an itch that I need, and it was nostalgic. Like, yes, this is a book that you can read in middle school, elementary school. I will always recommend these books when you're feeling nostalgic, or if you know someone younger that really wants to get into reading. It's just fun. I don't know. It's really fun. It feels a little silly talking about it, but I don't know. I don't care. I really love these books. I feel like the topics in here get really dark, honestly, and I've cried a couple times reading them. I feel like the only reason that they are um like early young adult is because they're cats. If these books had human main characters, I feel like they would be a very, very popular young adult book. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's just nostalgic. It's fun. I'm glad I read them. It scratched the itch I needed. It was what I was in the mood for, and then I can move on to my more adult things. It did what I needed to do, and every time I read these books, I'm just reading for the nostalgic feeling and the adventure. Like, it's just so fun. I don't know, I always rate them, all 4 of those I rated 5 stars. I don't really think about it that much when I am making those ratings. Like, it did what it needed to do, and I don't know, it feels wrong rating it anything but a 5-star. But just because it was my childhood favorite, that's the only thing that I have to add to that. But yeah, it was good. I recommend, honestly, just picking up something from your childhood, like, once in a while. It's just fun to scratch that itch. Like, a lot of people play their childhood video games, or um, like, watch childhood shows, like anything. Honestly, childhood movies, like, it felt that the same way for me. And then, taking a completely opposite road with this next book, I read a dark romance by Nikki St. Crow, the dark one. So this is the second in the Vicious Lost Boys series. The first one is The Never King, I believe. Yes, it's that one. I can see it on my shelf. But we're following, I think it's 5 POVs. It's very short. I believe it's under 200 pages. Yeah, just over. It's 210. So it was fun. I don't know. I never really gravitate towards dark romance, like, here and there. I have, like, a small cube shelf right there that has all of them. I've only read a couple. They're just there when I need it, and I needed, like, a little bit of a palate cleanser. Just something fun, not heavy, and not really. I needed something quick, and I mean, it was less than 200 pages. I flew through it. It was fun. It's pretty dark. Um, like, very, very spicy. If you don't know what dark romance is and you don't like spice, do not pick this up. I give you a big warning. Like, flashing lights warning. Don't pick up dark romance if you don't like spice. Because this was basically no plot, all spice. You follow 5 main characters. You follow Peter Pan, Vane, Bass, and Cass, and Winnie Darling. So basically, I can't really talk about the second book that much because it'll give away the the little plot that it has. Which the plot that was in it was entertaining. It wasn't anything crazy, but it was entertaining. Basically, Winnie Winnie is part of the Darlings family, and every every time a Darling turns 18, she is kidnapped and taken into Peter Pan's realm, and as payment for something that happened a long time ago with one of her relatives between her and the Lost Boys, Winnie turns 18 and she is taken to Neverland with the Lost Boys, and Pan is hunting his shadow. He lost his shadow, and they're trying to find it, and it is very spicy along the way. It was fun. I don't know. I rated it 3 stars. Like, it wasn't anything crazy. My only complaint, and I mean, it is a dark romance, I don't read a lot of dark romance, so I don't know about a lot of the female main characters. I just don't care for Winnie Darling. She she just doesn't have a lot of self-respect, and it's really fun to read that, but honestly, if we're talking about, like, she gives me the ick sometimes, and yeah, that's my only complaint. I think that's why I rated it 3 stars and not like a 4. um yeah, that's my only complaint. Fun. I recommend it. You should pick it up and give it a try if you're looking for something new in the dark romance. And the next book I picked up was Unsteady by Peyton Corin. This is like a newer book that's kind of starting to get popular, and it says Reese is desperate to feel anything. Sadie wants to stop feeling so much. So Reese is a hockey captain. They both go to the same college, and he suffered a really bad injury. You can That's kind of the prologue. You see what happened, and he develops PTSD, has really bad anxiety from that, and is really struggling to get back on the ice. And Sadie is our female main character, and she is dealing with a lot of family stuff. She has to take care of her 2 younger brothers. She's got a lot of responsibility. She's a figure skater. She works a job. Yeah, she's just an adult presence in her younger brother's life, and so she has a lot of responsibility. She feels like she doesn't have a lot of time for anything. But one day she was coming to practice on the ice, and she sees Reese face down having a panic attack, and she goes over, and just a story of where that kind of takes off and them helping each other. And that's all I'm really going to say for that one. I don't know, it was entertaining. I honestly flew through it really fast, but I just here we go. I know a lot of people love this book. I rated it a 2.75. It was good. I have a couple complaints with it. I don't know, there was something in the writing that I was missing, and I did not like Sadie. And I feel bad saying that towards the female main character. I just didn't like her. I thought that she was really rude at times. And know that she was going through a lot, and if you read it, you'll see all the things that she's trying to juggle and deal with, but she was just pretty rude. She was kind of always turning down Reese, and Reese I really liked, but he was a little too, this is going to sound really harsh, he was a little too pathetic for me. I don't know. I think when someone's that rude to you, you should just walk away, and I mean, that's not, like, what the romance book is about. Like, they end up together, but, as any romance, but I just think it was just a little too much. Like, I just wish he had a little more self-respect in the fact that they could have been friends, but I think as a couple, he deserved more, and she needed to figure out some stuff with herself before she committed to a relationship. So that was my complaint with the book. It was really entertaining. Honestly, I'm going to keep reading the series. Unloved is out, which is the second one, and I'm really excited because I think I'm going to really like those characters. And a lot of people say that they love the second one more than the first. And then there's another. I know that there's one more coming out, but I'm really hoping there's a fourth, because there's one character that gets teased in here that's kind of like the quote unquote enemy, and I want his book. I can't remember his name. Torin Kane, I think. Yeah, Torin Kane. I need his book. So, like, again, even though I rated it 2.75, it was still good. Like, it was entertaining. I might even bump it up to 3, but I just didn't like the characters. Like, that was the only thing that I really struggled with. But I'm going to keep reading this series. It was entertaining, and I'm really excited to read the next one. It is on my shelf. Then I actually listened to an audiobook. I listened to Two Can Play by Ali Hazelwood. I love Ali Hazelwood. I don't know, any of her books, like, they always have a really niche topic that, like, women in STEM. Like, there's a chemist, I think, one book. There's a swimmer book. There's a book about like two chess, like grandmasters for chess. There's physicists. There's a brain surgeon one, and there's just like a scientist. I don't know. I love Ali Hazelwood. I think she is probably my one of my favorite romance authors, if not my favorite. I think it's just so fun. You're always giggling. It's just a good time. When you pick up an Ali Hazelwood book, it is a good time. I don't know. I will always recommend her when you're kind of getting into romance or trying to see what you like. But anyways, this one was about two video game creators. Like, they work for video game companies. The two main characters, one is Viola, and the other one, I can't remember his name. I'm gonna edit his name in there. I can't remember his name. Sorry. But Viola, it's only in Viola's perspective. Basically, her company and his company are rivals. They do not get along. Like, just about every single person who works for that company has an issue with someone in his company. So it just creates a really negative working environment when they have to interact. But there's this video game that's going to be coming out that her company was chosen to work on, and their company. It's based off a book, and the book is really important to both of our main characters. And so they both really want to work on it, but because they have so much tension and drama between the two companies, to see if they would even be able to work together, they decide to take a vacation to a ski resort, like stay in a cabin. It was super cool setting. Like, it was kind of like the wintry vibe, close to Christmas, I believe. Um, it wasn't the best, my favorite by Ali Hazelwood, just because it was a novella. Like, you can't stay with the characters and kind of get to know them and have it go more slowly. And it kind of went like from nothing to just bam. That was kind of my only complaint with it. But everybody's kind of dreading this trip, and she realizes this guy, who is our main male character, who for the life of me I can't remember his name, is going to be there because he works for the other company. And he just gives off the vibes that he does not like her. Like, for years they've known each other, and he just barely talks to her, and she doesn't understand why. And so it's fun figuring out why, but also kind of silly. I don't know. Like, it was way better than a 3, but it wasn't quite at the 4 just because it was a novella. Like, it's just you're missing just a little bit. But I really liked it. It was entertaining. If you like Ali Hazelwood, I definitely recommend listening to it. It was 4 hours, really short, and you'll fly. This was, I think, my favorite book of the year so far. This is One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. It is a gothic fantasy with romance in it, so kind of got a little bit of romanticy. This was probably one of the like most fun reading experiences I've had in a minute. I really love the world. Um, just the way she writes is so atmospheric and just brilliant. I don't know. I just love this book. So this takes place in the town of Blunder, and Blunder is overcome by a mist that, if you're in it too long, you either lose your mind or you get infected. And if you survive the infection, it turns your veins dark, and like dark black, and you have some sort of magical ability, and that is frowned upon. Like, they send people to the dungeons, they kill them if you have this infection. Like, you're supposed to report them right away. And because the only magic that they have that they like is the controlled option, which are cards. So the magic system takes place in 12 provenance cards. Each card, if you find them and you touch them, you have the ability of whatever that card is. Like, for example, the mirror card that they have is if you touch it 3 times, you get invisibility. The maiden card is like it gives you beauty, like you have no blemishes, you were just like absolutely stunning, beautiful, and there's like nothing wrong with your facial features. So that's used in a lot of court settings. But yeah, that's all I kind of want to say about the cards because it's really fun figuring it out on your own. Um, but our main character Elspeth is infected. She has been able to hide it from people for 11 years, but part of her magic that she got is she has a monster that is in her head and she can hear its voice, like it talks to her and she can talk back. She doesn't want to be infected anymore, and there's a proposition that comes up with the male main character, who is looking for all 12 cards to complete a deck. If you put the deck together, the mist ends, like it's cleared from blunder and everything goes back to normal. You can cure the infection, you can get rid of your magic, like it would solve so many issues. And so not only is Raven, who that's the male main character's name, is looking for the cards, Elspeth, when she gets the proposition, is also looking for those cards. So there's forced proximity, they have to work together. It's really fun. Raven is like, I think, my favorite book boyfriend of a long time. Like he's up there next to like Rowan from Throne of Glass series. I absolutely love Raven. I thought everything about this book was so good. The writing, the magic system, the setting, the characters, like I just love them so much. I feel like it's obvious, but 5 stars. I am in the middle of reading Two Twisted Crowns. This is the sequel, and I think I love it better than this one, which is insane. So I can't wait to talk about that in the next reading wrap up. But yeah, I honestly highly recommend it. If you haven't read it, please go and read it if you like fantasy. If you're looking to dip your toe into fantasy, um, this would be a great place to start too. I think it's complex, but also in a like once you get the hang of it in the first couple chapters, it's just so enthralling and just gripping. I loved it. And that wraps up the 9 books that I read in the month of June. Like I said, it was a really successful reading month. It was so fun. I am really proud that I read 9 books, and I'm hoping to keep up reading that much. But we'll see. But if you enjoyed this video and love anything bookish, book videos, book hauls, book unhauls, TBR videos, monthly recaps, and book vlogs, 24-hour readathons. And I plan on doing a series actually that's going to be finishing every series that I'm in the middle of. So that'll be coming up soon. I'm really excited. If any of that sounds good to you and you enjoyed this video, feel free to like this video and subscribe to my channel and come along with me with this journey. And if any of you have read any of these books that I've talked about, I would love to know your thoughts. If you agree with me, if you don't, down in the comments. But if you made it this far, I really appreciate it, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye!